Financial abundance transform your life. Have you ever wondered if financial abundance could actually transform your life? Most people hear the word abundance and instantly think about bigger houses, nicer cars, luxury vacations. But the truth is, financial abundance has very little to do with things. The real transformation happens inside you long before it shows up in your bank account. The part people rarely talk about is the invisible role money plays in your mind. Think about how many of your emotions are tied to money. Stress when bills pile up, anxiety when your account gets low, guilt after spending, or that sinking feeling when an unexpected expense pops up out of nowhere. Even if you're doing everything right, one small financial moment can ruin your entire day. We act like money is neutral, but it isn't. It's deeply emotional, and when you don't have enough, it creates a constant background noise, a pressure on your chest that never fully goes away. That's why financial abundance feels like such a relief. It's not about being rich, it's about waking up without that invisible weight pressing on your mind. It's the peace of knowing you're okay. It's the freedom of making decisions based on what's right, not what's affordable. And something interesting happens when that fear disappears. You start becoming a different version of yourself. People say money changes you, but that's not exactly true. Money reveals you. When you're not trapped in survival mode, you finally have space to think, to breathe, to create. You become more generous because you're not afraid of running out. You become more confident because you're not constantly worried about the next emergency. You take more risks because you know that even if you fall, you won't break. Financial abundance gives you something most people never experience: room to grow. But here's the twist. Abundance doesn't start with having money. It starts with believing there can be more. Most people live with a scarcity mindset. They say things like, "I can't afford that. That's too risky. That dream is impossible." People like me don't get opportunities like that. Scarcity makes your world feel small. It convinces you that every mistake is fatal and every risk is dangerous. But abundance thinks differently. It doesn't ask, "Can I do this?" It asks, "How can I make this possible?" It doesn't see problems as walls, it sees them as puzzles. And people who think this way often end up attracting more opportunities. Not because they're lucky, but because they're open. When you start thinking in terms of possibilities instead of limits, your whole life slowly expands. Your decisions get better. Your confidence gets stronger. Your future feels larger. So, can financial abundance transform your life? Absolutely. But not just because it gives you money, because it gives you freedom. Freedom to choose work that fulfills you, not work that drains you. Freedom to leave toxic people or environments. Freedom to take care of your health. Freedom to think about the future without fear creeping into your chest. Freedom to become the person you always felt you could be. And maybe the most powerful part, abundance gives you a vision. When you're not drowning in daily financial stress, you finally have the mental space to ask bigger, more meaningful questions. What do I want my life to look like? What am I capable of? What kind of person can I become? Because when you're no longer stuck in survival mode, you're free to step into purpose mode. Financial abundance isn't about wealth. It's about possibility. The moment you stop saying, "This is impossible for someone like me," and start asking, "What would it take to make this real?" That's the moment your transformation begins. Money doesn't magically change your life, but the freedom it creates absolutely can.